Okay, this is going to be just some ideas about how to onboard Read Speaker at your individual institutions. Normally I would show this as full screen, but if I do full screen, then the video is not the right size. So I'm going to do it like this. You have my information. And as I said, we're going to basically look over how to do this. We're going to learn about all of our different tools and about how to use TextAid for testing and a little bit about the admin portal. Well, first off, as you talk to your students, make certain you use the word stream or streaming because that's what they're going to say. In probably the next year, they'll have a different word for the same thing, so be cognizant of that and change your verbiage to match. Your students will love this because they don't have to download anything, and it is native inside Brightspace. Okay, look at orientation. If you have some type of orientation that you can participate in, then mention it. Oh, by the way, you might want to try listening to your lessons. Also, put this in your first courses that freshmen take. If you have a freshman seminar, put it in there. If you have a first year experience, put it in there, or a college orientation course, your humanities, typically the first communications and math courses. Any of these first courses, because you want to get it in their hands at the very beginning. Now, other things that you want to consider are your anatomy and physiology courses because those have an extremely large vocabulary level, which makes the reading level actually test out between an upper master's to lower doctoral reading level, and you've got freshmen trying to read it. Well, what happens is when they are in class, they understand what you're saying. But when they go back and read the notes and read what you have in Brightspace, what happens is they're mispronouncing the word and they're not making that connection. Personal example, the word superlative. In 6th grade or 5th grade, something like that, I had it as a spelling word. And we did the thing where you went and did different exercises with them all week. And I was sent to the board at the end of the week to use the word superlative in a sentence. And I looked at my teacher and I said, Miss Edwards, I don't have that word. And she walked over to my spelling list and put her finger down on it and said, right there it is. And I said, no ma'am, that's superlative. So all week long I had missed out on all those connections about superlative. I can guarantee you I will never forget that word again. But that's what's happening with your A&P students. It's also happening in your microbiology, your medical terminology, nursing courses. All of those have huge vocabularies. If you have other courses that have big vocabulary, a lot of times science goes through parts of a course where there's a big vocabulary and then it kind of drops off. But you may have other areas that have those big vocabularies. Think about it. Those are the courses you want to target. Safety codes, a lot of those are OSHA codes, FDA codes, NDT codes, and there's all kinds of other code courses. Those type things are generally in scenarios. And scenarios you want to use a page mask on or a reading ruler on so that you don't get one part mixed with another part, as in scenario of part 1 with scenario of part 2, because then you could have a bad outcome. Legal course, the legalese in it is so difficult for students to understand. Those case courses make it hard for students to get to the root of it. Also think about areas that information comes at you fast. When you're looking at those, you find things like nursing, fire science, control tower operators, people along these lines, police. When people are talking to them, a lot of times they get panicked, and when you get panicked, you talk real fast. Well, a soft skill is learning how to listen fast. So while you are building that, the student is building a soft skill that they can then put on their resume, which makes two students that are equal in every other way. That student with the soft skill has a little bit better edge. Now, the way you build that soft skill is you write scenarios. You don't give the scenarios to the student, but you play them, and you all semester long, and you play them a little bit faster each time. New scenarios each week or 2 weeks, something like that. The student writes down what they hear. By the end of the semester, you can get them up to time and a half to double time, and they get accustomed to listening fast. Place some type of demo video in the news in Brightspace, and then set your calendar reminder to put it back up there for the first 2 or 3 days of each semester. All you got to do is recycle the dates on that news item. But the demo video should only be about a minute, minute and a half in length, and it just touches on the different tools that are in D2L and when to use each one. Remember, you have a handout that gives that information also, so you could maybe link to it in the news item besides the video. Make certain the disability office staff gets involved, because they work so closely with students who have disabilities that have self-identified that they can use all these tools with them. But remember, you have a large population of students who did not self-identify because they could not afford to self-identify. Testing costs between $2,000 and $3,000 per student, and it is typically not covered by insurance. So this means the student has to pay for it to get it when they're on the college level. When they are in K-12 in a public school, typically that is paid for them. Get your student association involved, a student government, ambassadors. Any of these type people are great mentors for your student. And of course, your librarian. Your librarian helps students because the students know they can go to the librarian when they don't know how to find something. Also, the librarian can teach them how to use TextAid as they are looking at it in research. Now, I can do a virtual PD for each one of the colleges, or I can do this as a group. If you want me to do that, if you have some type of in-service or professional development day or something like that, that's also a possibility that I could do something virtual there. And by all means, use social media. Now, I was an LMS admin for about 9-10 years, and one of the things that we learned very quickly is our students did not know how to use the LMS or any of our third-party tools. So we wrote a course that was learner support or some name along those lines, and we had 3 modules. The first module was on our LMS, which was D2L, Brightspace. The second one was on the different services we offered on campus, such as coaching or tutoring or disability services, anything like that. We put the links right there. And then our third module was our third-party companies that we worked with. Well, ReadSpeaker falls into that, just like your plagiarism checker and your homework companies. And with the homework companies, in the title, we also included their support number so that students did not have to sit on a support call for however long to get through to the help desk to turn around and have to call the other place. It was a self-registration course, so students were enrolled in it. We had them enroll at the very beginning, and that helped them because they stayed in it permanently. And they kept building more and more in it, and we didn't have to do anything but update one site when something changed. It was a great way to get information pushed to our students. Now this shows the slide using the bookmarklet to take a quiz. And if this was inside Respondus Lockdown Browser, it would look the same. If you're in Respondus Lockdown Browser, to get the bookmarklet to come up, you press Control and the R key, and you'll have to log in, then Control and the R key again, and the bookmarklet will launch, and that's only on PCs. If you have Macs, then you will need to contact Respondus for more information. Now, the admin portal. The most important thing you will use in your admin portal is this customer ID, which is up here on the top line, and usage statistics. Any support ticket you write us, include the customer ID. That way we make certain that we have got the right person connected. Now this is a view of a bar graph, and when you look at your data, you will have a bar graph. You will also have a table view, and expect humps and valleys, or ebbs and flow of your data. The beginning of every semester always has a higher usage because students are trying out the products. They may find they like them and they continue to use them. They may find they're so visual they don't want to use them. So it's their choice, but we need to make certain they're available. So don't expect it to be flat. Expect it to have humps and valleys. That would be natural. This right here gives you some examples, and you can see different months, and you can download to CSV. The count is not unique. It is how many times a ReadSpeaker product was clicked on. When you click on a month, you will have the ability to select all the tools that have been used or the individual tools. The individual tools could be default, which is Web Reader Listen, download to MP3 for Web Reader, download to MP3 for Doc Reader, listen for Doc Reader, help, translate, and word lookup. Word lookup is dictionary, and you can select those individual. You can then drill down further and see the individual URLs, and as an LMS admin you can click on open and it will take you directly to that link. Now this is Web Reader, and as you can see we have all the different tools. This is Doc Reader and their tools. If you are not seeing your highlighter tools, your download to MP3, and your print, please let me know and I can have those turned on for you. This on the left is your bookmarklet, and on the right is your extension. And all those tools are included in the other videos. If you would like an onboarding specific to your institution, because each one of you is different. So this slide up here, where I was talking about the various courses, I can go through your catalog and pick out courses that I think that would be good. If you want me to do that, please let me know and send me the link to your catalog so that I can get those course descriptions and find them. But I will be glad to do that for the individual campuses. If you have questions, please let me know and I will be glad to get back to you.